Hey, in this lesson, we're going to be talking about erosion and deposition. So, in erosion and deposition, slowly with erosion and weathering are the same because they both break down rocks and soil. And erosion can also happen because of water. So that's how they're similar. But erosion usually happens because something, and we're going to go over it, is having some kind of effect on breaking something else down. And the final step is well, let me give you some examples of those. They're listed here in your book: water, glaciers, wind, ocean currents, waves. These all carry rock, soil, sediment away from one source and to another place. And the final place that they deposit it, when they drop it off, it's called deposition when it's deposited somewhere. So, deposition is the last step in erosion, is when something finally gets deposited somewhere else. Things that are eroded are actually more susceptible. I'm sorry, things that are weathered. So they've been part of the chemical or mechanical weathering that we talked about in the last section, are also have a better chance of getting eroded. So this obviously was susceptible to a chemical weathering with the water. So it's also going to get eroded more easily and have things carried away. So erosion moves with gravity. That's the force that's moving this water along. Is this water is going from higher points to lower points to lower points. So gravity always moves it along. Okay, and moving our class along is these awesome pictures of what is called a rill. So there's actually an American patriotic song that's I Love Thy Rocks and Rills. What that is talking about is in the sides of hills, the rills are erosion. It's where erosion starts, and it starts really small and it eventually gets bigger and bigger and bigger until it is a full, what they call, gully. And gullies are actually very difficult. Say you're a rancher here and you're trying to have cows on this. How are the cows going to move along this without breaking a leg? When it's smaller, it's not a big deal. But when it's at least about 9 meters or 3 meters, which is about 9 to 10 feet, then it's considered a gully. It's also harder to farm. Can you picture taking the tractor over that? You would fall in a ditch and waste a tractor. So those are what those two are. The steeper the slope, the greater chance water is going to erode that away. So see how it's really steep right here? And so there's no plants growing because it's eroded it away. Another type of erosion happens because of waves. I was at the beach called Encinitas this summer when a big chunk of the sea cliff fell down and actually resulted in a death. It was really sad, and it was right near where we were when it happened. Because waves and wind and the water just really break down our coastal sea cliffs. Wave action is the one thing that really carries our sand down our beaches too. So wave action, that's not hard to remember. Wave action carries sand. Okay, and not right now, but at one point the Earth did have about 30% glaciers. So a lot of where we are in the United States even had some glaciers in it. But now that's receded quite a bit. But the glaciers, that big frozen chunk of ice, that actually slowly would move over time and really carved out a lot of the cool mountains and things that we have now. So, the next type of erosion is wind erosion. If you live out in maybe like the Yuma area, or you've gone out to the desert to go riding, or you like maybe live in one of our desert areas like Indio, La Quinta. I used to live in La Quinta, Coachella. They have all of these trees like along the side of the freeway or along farms. And why do they have these huge trees there? They have it because they're trying to stop erosion. So out in like La Quinta from the freeway, it looks like nothing is off the side of the roads. It's just these big trees. But they're trying to stop sand from getting blown all over the freeway. And then when people put on the brakes, everyone would slide. Here, they're using these as wind brakes, they're called, to stop the erosion of topsoil. So, one thing that I want you to think about is what could you do to design something really good that would stop erosion? This was a part, something from our great like depression, the dust bowl and all of that that happened is that the topsoil just got blown away. So what could you design that would prevent erosion? I think the trees are a great idea, but do you have a different idea? Um, that's kind of it. Just know that living things also erode stuff. Like we like to erode stuff and dig in the dirt. And we will be talking about the soil in the next section. So take care and have a great day.